Have you ever read a book, maybe a dystopia, and it just felt, well, less like fiction and more like a weirdly accurate prediction?
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of uncanny how some authors, writing decades ago, tapped into these anxieties about technology and control that feel so relevant now.
Right. Makes you wonder what they were seeing. And Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, I mean, that one really stands out, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Published way back 1932. And it pictured this future controlled not by, obvious fear, but by something sneakier.
Yeah, like manufactured pleasure, absolute contentment. It's a different kind of chilling.
It really is.
Yeah.
So for this deep dive, we've gathered quite a bit of material, literary reviews, academic takes on the themes, discussions about how it connects to the real world.
And even stuff about its history of being challenged, which is pretty interesting too.
Exactly. So our mission really is to unpack this world Huxley created, look at those subtle control mechanisms he imagined,
and hold them up against our modern society. See how those warnings echo today. It makes you think, what's the trade-off for all our comfort and convenience?
Yeah, what's the price? Okay, let's dive in.
So Aldous Huxley, who is the mind behind this?
Well, he was an English writer, a philosopher too, came from this really intellectual family, quite a mix of science and literature in his background.
And talented, nominated for the Nobel Prize in Literature 7 times, apparently.
7 times. Yeah, that really says something. And the timing of Brave New World, 1932, it's critical.
Okay, what was happening then?
You had the shadow World War I, the uncertainty of the Great Depression, but also rapid scientific progress, mass production, psychology.
Ah, the Henry Ford connection.
Exactly. Huxley was reportedly fascinated, and maybe a bit disturbed, by Ford's assembly line. This idea that efficiency could just erase individuality.
So the novel wasn't just sci-fi, it was a critique.
A really sharp prophetic critique. He was interested in progress, sure, but deeply skeptical about where it might lead if we weren't careful.
Okay, so lay out the world for us. Set in London, but way in the future.
About 600 years, yeah. They call it AF 632.
AF after Ford.
You got it, after Ford. And this world state, it's all about stability. No conflict, no suffering, achieved through meticulous control. Total order.
But not through fear, like you said. That's the twist.
Right. Unlike a lot of dystopias, Huxley imagined control through pleasure, through conditioning, these rigid social castes. People basically trade hardship for this engineered peace.
And lose their soul in the process, something like that.
Pretty much, yeah. They sacrifice depth, meaning real humanity.
So this engineered happiness, how early does that start? Is it like cultural conditioning or deeper?
Oh, it starts before birth. Genetic engineering is key. The Volkanovsky process is central to it all.
Okay, what's that? Sounds ominous.
It is. It's basically mechanized human reproduction. They can get thousands of nearly identical individuals from just one egg.
Thousands, wow. And each one is designed for a specific job.
Exactly. It creates this strict caste system. You've got the alphas at the top, the intellectuals, the managers.
But then it goes down from there.
All the way down to the excellons, who are biologically engineered, basically simplified, for the most basic manual labor.
That's disturbing. But the really unsettling part is that they're conditioned to like it.
To love their place. They're programmed biologically and psychologically to be perfectly content with their predetermined role. No ambition, no resentment.
And that ties into eugenics, obviously. Critics point that out.
Oh, absolutely. It's a core and very controversial element of the whole setup. Still sparks a lot of debate.
So you have the biology sorted. What about the psychology? How do they reinforce it?
Well, one of the creepiest tools is hypnopedia, sleep teaching.
Right, I remember that. They play messages while people sleep.
From infancy, yeah. Little slogans, ideas repeated over and over, shaping desires, beliefs. Buy this, fear that, conform, all subconsciously.
So you don't even know what's happening.
Exactly. It encourages consumption. Ending is better than mending, makes people scared of being alone, rejects rebellion. The whole point is to make personal freedom seem, well, pointless.
Because you're literally conditioned not to even want it.
Precisely. Why want freedom if you're incapable of desiring anything different from what you're given?
Okay, so genetics, sleep teaching. What else keeps everyone so blissfully compliant? There has to be something for the day-to-day bumps.
That's where Soma comes in.
The drug. Tell us about Soma.
Soma is the government's perfect drug. It provides this instant blissful escape. No pain, no grief, no difficult thoughts. Just contentment.
A holiday, they call it, right? A consequence-free escape.
Exactly. And it's terrifyingly effective because pleasure, as Huxley shows, is a much better control tool than fear or punishment. People want soma. They line up for it.
They essentially drug themselves into obedience.
Willingly. It guarantees compliance.
You know, it's impossible not to compare this to Orwell's 1984. Everyone knows Big Brother.
Right, the comparison is inevitable. But they're fundamentally different kinds of dystopias.
How so?
Orwell's world runs on fear, surveillance, pain, information control, censorship, limiting what people know. Big Brother's always watching, ready to punish.
Okay, classic totalitarianism.
Yeah. But Huxley's vision, it's almost more insidious. It's control through seduction, through distraction. People aren't forced into submission, they're lured into it.
So Orwell feared those who would deprive us of information.
While Huxley feared, maybe more chillingly, that we'd be so overloaded with trivial information, so addicted to entertainment and pleasure, that we wouldn't care about truth anymore.
That truth would just get lost in the noise.
Drowned in a sea of irrelevance, as he put it. No need for banning books if no one wants to read them anyway.
Wow. That distinction, it really hits differently today, doesn't it? It feels almost closer.
It does feel eerily relevant. Perhaps even more so than the overt oppression of 1984 in some ways.
Which brings us to the echoes in our own world. How much of this feels familiar? Let's start with consumerism.
Oh, definitely. The world state's economy relies on people consuming constantly, throwing things away. Remember, ending is better than mending.
Repairing things is discouraged because it slows down consumption.
Exactly. And you look around today, fast fashion, electronics designed to be replaced, quickly planned obsolescence.
The endless cycle of trends. And that constant drive for instant gratification, same-day delivery, viral content that vanishes tomorrow.
It all feeds into that short attention span, that difficulty maybe in thinking critically or long-term. It aligns so well with Huxley's vision.
Then the constant entertainment aspect.
Huge. Huxley showed citizens numbing themselves with endless distractions, the feelies, community thing.
Feelies, movies you can physically feel.
Yeah, total sensory immersion. It mirrors our digital age, right? Streaming, social media, endless feeds. It's so easy to stay distracted, to avoid engaging deeply with, well, reality.
It's like modern escapism is our version of soma. Technology, shopping, maybe even some actual pharmaceuticals.
It raises that question about manufactured happiness versus, genuine fulfillment. Are we just chasing the next quick hit?
And what does that do to individuality? Huxley's world basically eliminates it through conditioning.
Right. Conformity is key. There's no real dissent because everyone's conditioned to think and feel alike to fit in. Wanting to be different is seen as a sickness.
And today, you see pressures to conform too. Social media algorithms creating echo chambers.
Totally. And the fear of saying the wrong thing, of being ostracized or canceled, that pressure towards uniformity, even if it's more subtle than state conditioning, it has parallels.
How does truth fit into this? How does the world state control information?
Well, they control history, rewriting it, or simply ignoring it. They suppress any knowledge that might cause instability or critical thought. Information is carefully selected.
And again, the parallels. Misinformation, fake news, sensationalism, news feeds driven by algorithms designed to keep you clicking, not necessarily informed.
It makes it incredibly hard sometimes to know what's true, what's propaganda, what's just noise. That sea of irrelevance again.
What about science and technology itself? In the book, it's purely for control, right?
Absolutely. Genetic engineering, the conditioning methods, soma. It's all about maintaining order, not empowering people or improving the human condition in a meaningful way.
Which forces us to look at our own tech. AI, genetic editing, data privacy, these are huge ethical debates now.
And the core question is similar. Is this technology serving human freedom and flourishing? Or is it subtly shaping our behavior, maybe prioritizing control or profit over autonomy?
Though it's worth saying the kind of complex behavioral genetic engineering in the book, that's still science fiction for now.
Right, current gene editing is more focused on fixing specific defects, not designing personalities wholesale. But the ethical questions remain potent.
And what about human connection? Relationships in the world state are superficial.
Deliberately so. Deep emotional bonds, family ties, romantic love, they're seen as dangerous, destabilizing. The motto is, everyone belongs to everyone else.
Promiscuity is encouraged, but deep connection isn't.
Exactly. Compare that to some modern trends. The shift towards digital interactions over face-to-face, dating apps making relationships feel transactional, the validation sought through social media likes.
That idea that if you didn't post it, it didn't happen.
Yeah. It can sometimes feel like genuine intimacy is being replaced by something more performative or shallow.
And this all feeds into the danger of a passive society, right? People just accepting comfort over critical thought.
That's a central warning. A population happy to be entertained, fed algorithm-driven content, not questioning things too deeply.
And the education system in the book reflects that. It's about indoctrination, not curiosity.
Yeah, making sure people fit their roles. And you can sometimes see echoes in debates about modern education. Is the focus always on fostering independent, critical thought, or sometimes more on standardization and compliance?
When information is just given to you, pre-digested, maybe critical thinking skills don't get exercised as much.
It's a real concern. Which brings us to the absolute core question the book throws at us.
Happiness versus freedom.
Exactly. Is a world without pain, suffering, or conflict the ultimate goal? Is that utopia? Or does eliminating all that strip away something essential about being human?
Like depth, individuality, truth.
The things that often come from struggle and complexity.
You see that struggle in the characters who don't quite fit in. John the Savage, Bernard Marx, Helmholtz Watson.
They're the misfits. Bernard feels alienated, Helmholtz feels his intelligence is stifled, and John comes from outside, representing a connection to older human values, Shakespeare, emotion, pain.
And they're unhappy because they can think and feel more deeply, because they want something more than the engineered contentment.
Right, but look what happens to them. John can't cope and ultimately hangs himself. Bernard and Helmholtz question the system, and they get banished.
Their thinking makes them dangerous to civility.
Precisely. So the book makes it clear. This guaranteed happiness comes at the direct cost of freedom, truth, and individual agency.
Even if they're conditioned to feel happy, it's an illusion of freedom, right? It's still subjugation.
Absolutely. Engineered contentment isn't the same as chosen fulfillment.
And this message, this warning, it hasn't faded at all. The book itself has been controversial for decades.
Oh yeah. Banned in various places over the years, Ireland, Australia, schools in the US. The reasons varied.
What were they cited for?
Things like being anti-religion, anti-family, promoting promiscuity, obscenity, basically challenging traditional values and depicting things that made people uncomfortable.
Which often happens with works that really push boundaries.
And Huxley himself felt his warnings were becoming more urgent. In 1958, he wrote Brave New World Revisited.
What was his conclusion then?
He basically said the world was moving dangerously closer to his fictional dystopia, much faster than he'd initially thought. He saw the seeds of it sprouting all around him.
Wow, that's quite the validation from the author himself. And its influence is undeniable, right?
Huge. You see its DNA in so much science fiction that came after it. Movies like The Matrix, shows like Black Mirror. They all owe a debt to Huxley's ideas about control through pleasure and technology.
It really speaks to the power and, well, prophetic nature of the book.
It really does. So when you circle back, you just have to marvel at Huxley's foresight. Brave New World isn't just a story.
No, it's more like a deep meditation on where technology and our desire for comfort might lead us if we're not paying attention.
And the danger he saw wasn't necessarily a tyrannical government forcing things on us, but us voluntarily giving up our freedom.
For convenience, for entertainment.
Yeah. He famously worried that people might actually prefer the distractions that television and hamburgers, as he put it, over the hard work and responsibilities of liberty.
Choosing comfort over the burden of freedom and critical thought.
Exactly. So maybe the question we leave you with is this: what responsibilities are you willing to take on today to make sure our future doesn't drift into that brave new world Huxley warned us about?